Hey everybody, what's up? Mr. Enigma here, but today Mr. Enigma's gonna take a back seat. It's just gonna be plain old Dustin for right now for this video. We have some things that I want to discuss, and there's some things I want you to hear my perspective of. You'll have to forgive me if this is really disjointed. I don't have a script in front of me. I don't have bullet points, nothing. I'm staring at a blank television in front of me. We're just kind of shoot from the hip here, and we're going to see how it goes. If it goes great, it goes great. If it doesn't, you're still going to like it anyways, because it's me. Anyways, yesterday, December 11th, 2013, was a day of reckoning on YouTube in terms of copyright and content ID. Now, a few weeks ago, some sources within YouTube leaked to some people that there was about to be some changes coming to partnered channels and these MCNs called multi-channel networks. Excuse me. My throat is already trying to betray me. Anyways, what was going to happen was Google, who owns YouTube, was going to designate every channel under a partnership, or rather was going to force the networks to designate their partner channels into two different categories. One was going to be a managed channel, and another was going to be an affiliate. If you were a managed channel, pretty much nothing changed. But if you're an affiliate channel, you were going to have to go through Google's content ID system before your videos would be able to be monetized. And every video, if you've never uploaded a video on YouTube, here's what happens. You upload a video on YouTube. When it gets 95% into the process, it begins processing. What this processing is, it's going through Google's Content ID match system. And if a video from your computer pops something on this Content ID, you are notified immediately that you can't monetize it. And typically it'll say, there's no penalization on your channel, you just can't monetize it. There's going to be ads on your video, but you're not going to get the money. Which, it is what it is. But what happened yesterday, it seems a lot of these channels began being converted to affiliates. And a bunch of big people started getting their videos tagged and their monetization rerouted to different people. And we've heard a lot of things over the last 24 hours from the big YouTubers, but I wanted to kind of lend a perspective from somebody that's not a big YouTuber by comparison. I'm certainly not. As of the recording of this video, I have 2,095 subscribers. I am far from a big player on YouTube. I'm not even close. But, I'm not brand new either. I mean, I have 2,100 subscribers. There are people out there that would kill for 2,100 subscribers, and I recognize that, and I'm appreciative of all 2,100 of you that are with me. So I just kind of wanted to tell you what this means to someone like me, who's only got about 2,100 subs. What this means to me is really nothing, because what these affiliate channels now are experiencing are what I have experienced the entire time I've been on YouTube. As of right now, this video is going to be the 349th video I will have uploaded on YouTube. I currently have 348 videos. Every single one of those videos have ads on them. 56 of those 348 videos do not pay me for those ads. Those are videos that the Content ID match stuff to, and it has rerouted the payments to the content creators, which is perfectly fine. I understood that going into what I was doing, especially when I started doing the Let's Play Silent Hill series, where I played 1, 2, 3, 4, Origins, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, and Downpour. I understood that some of those videos were going to get tagged because of Akira Yamaoka's music, and I was perfectly cool with that. I had no problem. But lately, I had noticed some weird things going on with my videos. 2 of my Silent Hill 2 videos received copyright claims from musical entities that had nothing to do with Silent Hill. I can't even tell you what their names were, but I can tell you right now, they had nothing to do with Silent Hill. And that is what these affiliate channels are starting to realize. I have always long described YouTube's copyright environment as the wild, wild west. It is shoot first, ask questions later. Anybody can file a content claim and immediately it's processed and acted as if it is the Bible truth. And you have to go through so many hoops to get this acknowledged from somebody else that it was incorrect. I've heard from people in the past that have had to deal with this stuff, and they cannot deal with a human being. They cannot get to a real person. It's all automated. And that is the root of where the system breaks. Now, these multi-channel networks, I will say, as a channel with 2,100 subscribers, the last few months, Fullscreen has been courting me big time to join their network. I haven't really felt that big of a pull to join a network, and I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why that relates to what happened yesterday. The previous perk of being a member of a multi-channel network such as Machinima, Fullscreen, Yoush, Curse, stuff like that, Polaris, you understand where I'm going. There were two key components to wanting to be partnered. Actually, three. The first one really is a superficial status. I mean, it used to be the holy grail to be able to say, oh God, I'm partnered on YouTube. But that's not really the case anymore. Really, anybody can get partnered on YouTube these days. But the two main perks for being partnered were this. One, you had peace of mind that if you got any sort of copyright strike on your channel, you could have a legal team go to bat for you to try to get it removed. If you are not partnered and you're just going through Google's AdSense and you get a video that gets hit with a copyright strike, you are screwed, because it is virtually impossible to get a hold of any human being to get that rectified. Whether the copyright strike was valid or not, you're not going to get any explanation from YouTube or Google as to why that happened, what caused it, and you're not going to be able to talk to anybody. I've heard from so many people that had their AdSense outright disabled, or they got copyright strikes and they cannot hear from anybody from Google to explain why or what happened. That is where the system is inherently broken. The second perk to having a partnership was when you uploaded a video, that phantom 5%, that phantom final 5% that goes into uploading a video doesn't happen. You didn't have to go through YouTube's Content ID system to get your stuff on the channel. You could monetize any channel because you had the peace of mind knowing that your network already had the deals in place to protect you from that stuff, so that you already had the rights by being a member of that network. Now, things have changed as of December 11th, 2013. The rules of the game have changed. To quote Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. I hope that doesn't get copyright tagged. But anyways, the rules of the game have changed significantly, and a lot of these channels got converted to affiliates yesterday, and now they're seeing the dark side. I think the famous one that we've seen over the last 24 hours is the Angry Joe guy. Passionate rant, and everything he said was absolutely right on. I recommend that you watch that if you have not watched it, to get a really good perspective from a big-time person whose life is YouTube, whose life depends on YouTube, to see what's going on. You better not jump in that window, Tom. The window is closed. You're distracting me from this video. Don't kick my capture card. Okay. He put out some really good points about what was going on. But in terms of how this affects a smaller channel like mine, there's actually some not so bad things that apply to that. Here's one. As I said earlier, I'm unaffected because I've been going through this system since I started really monetizing videos 2 years ago with my original This Game Sucks Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection. The system doesn't change for me. And one of the things I didn't really like about a partnership was, Google takes their cut, but now a partnership's going to take their cut and you're actually going to get less money. And I am smart enough to know what is probably going to get a copyright strike and what's not, and I'm smart enough to know what not to upload to YouTube. I'm fine with a video here and there getting a content ID match. I'm fine with that. And that's because YouTube is not my primary source of income. I do get paid from YouTube. Full disclosure, I do get paid from YouTube. I certainly do not get paid anything to live on. I don't even get a check every month. Alright? It is not living whatsoever. It's not living money at all. So the idea of giving somebody another cut as a smaller channel didn't really do anything for me. And I didn't feel like they could do anything for me anyway. I always figured, if I'm good enough, I'm going to rise to the top no matter what is behind me. If you're good, you're going to rise to the top of the crop. So I've always gone by that. I didn't really feel like I need anybody promoting me because my work should promote itself. Word of mouth should be all you need because that is how things really get done on the internet. It's all viral and word of mouth. If I'm good enough, it's going to happen. I don't need a network promoting me. So, take that into consideration. With what has happened yesterday, there virtually is no point to being partnered on a multi-channel network. And if these channels continue to come after me, such as Fullscreen, which they have done a lot of in the last 6 months, I suddenly have a lot of leverage in that. I can say, hey, you know what? I want to be a managed channel. I'll sign with your network as long as I'm a managed channel and I don't have to go through Content ID. But if you're going to make me an affiliate channel, I'm not interested. Sorry. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. There's no point of being partnered anymore. If you have to go through this Content ID thing, and a very, very small amount of channels are going to be managed, and I'll tell you why. I'll knock it down in layman's terms. When a multi-channel network has managed channels, they are all a collective. Think of them all as a collective channel, one channel. And take the copyright strike system. You know, it's just like baseball. 3 strikes, you're out. Let's say managed channel B gets a strike. Managed channel P gets a strike. Managed channel Y gets a strike. Guess what? 3 copyright strikes, all those channels are out of here. That's how the managed channel works. And that's why Google forced their hand to make networks classify their channels. Because they knew that the majority of these channels were going to be converted to affiliates. So their big advertising buddies and their big copyright holders that pressure them all the time can get this money. That is what's going on. I don't know if you've heard, but Google is standing to make nearly $6 billion on YouTube in the year 2013. If you want to get more precise about it, 5.6 billion. That's a lot of money. And these copyright holders are seeing this and they want their cut now. YouTube has become a lot more than just a hobby thing. These content creators want their cut of the money. The rich want to get richer, and they don't care about stomping on the little guy to do it. That's how these things work. Now, the bad side to what this does to a channel like mine. As I said earlier, I do make money on YouTube. It is not anything to live on. I don't even get a check every month. I get a check at the most once every 2 months. And it is it's not enough to live on. That's all I'm going to say. It's not enough to live on. I don't want to go into any more details than that, but it's not enough to live on. You can't live on it. So, here's my thing. For someone like me, I fell into YouTube on accident. My big thing was I always wanted to be on Twitch TV. That was where I got all this stuff. I wanted to be on Twitch TV. When I saw a streamer by the name of Man vs. Game streaming Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox in January of 2011, almost 3 years ago, I decided that was what I wanted to do. And the YouTube thing just kind of happened. I made the Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection video kind of to just steer people away from buying it, because I was about to buy the game and I was going to get screwed out of $10 because that game was crap. So I wanted to make that video just as a cautionary thing so nobody would get it. And all of a sudden I would check it every day and it was starting to catch a little bit of fire. 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 15,000 views, and just like that, it had 40,000 views. And I thought, oh man, I have something here. So I started going and going and going, making little videos. Then the sort of the backbone of what built this channel so far were the Silent Hill HD collection videos. To this day, a year and a half later, if you search the string Silent Hill HD collection in YouTube, #1 result is me. Me and Twin Perfect rotate the #1 spot, but a lot of the times I check, it's me that's #1. And a funny thing about Content ID, this is how it works, and I'm going to give you my example on how Content ID works if you're not familiar with it. Excuse me, I apologize for the coughing. My throat is betraying me. But when I uploaded that original Silent Hill HD collection video, originally when I uploaded it, I had the attract videos for Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill 4. No, excuse me, Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 4 in the video. I think there's a frame in the video where I show the box art for Silent Hill 1 and 4. In the original video, those were the attract videos of Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 4. They were probably 15 seconds apiece. Well, I ran it through, and Content ID matched something. Excuse me, I'm so sorry for this. I really need a water, but there's no one here. But I ran it through and it matched something, and it said, your video matches visual content administered by Konami, which it turned out to be the attract video for Silent Hill 4. So what I did was I yanked the video, I replaced it with a box art, and it worked. That is how Content ID works, and that is how it works on YouTube. It is all automated. There is nobody that does this stuff manually because they don't have the manpower to do this with the amount of stuff. It's estimated that 100 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube every minute. Or I think 10 hours or whatever. Whatever the deal, it's a lot of stuff that manpower cannot process. So it's all automated. So I have seen this happen, and the downside to what has happened yesterday to channels like mine is, what is really keeping me here? Like, what is inspiring me to keep going? I hate to have to invoke the harsh reality here, but I am 29 years old. Money is kind of important to me now. And so are ESPN alerts. I hope I don't get tagged for that. But money's kind of important to me now. It's certainly not the only thing in life, but I look at the world a lot differently now than I did 5 years ago. I don't do everything for fun anymore because I can't afford to. I have to have some money, and YouTube is a way for me to make money. Some money. It's not anything to live on, but it's something. Twitch, on the other hand, I don't make anything from. I don't make anything on Twitch, and that's not really what it's all about. I just love people watching me play video games. That was the attraction to me. If I can just so happen to make money doing it, cool. But that's why I do Twitch still, because I don't get paid for it. I just want people to watch me play video games, and I like Twitch more than YouTube, but YouTube happens to give me some money for it, so I stick with it. But what is really keeping channels like mine here? And channels with less subs than mine. What's really keeping us here, seeing what has happened to the bigger dudes yesterday? We have to go through fear almost that something that we put a lot of work into can get automatically tagged by a robot for something that's in the video for 10 seconds. And that's how I felt with the Silent Hill HD Part 1 video that I did. I put a lot of work into those videos. Now, those videos certainly are not as polished as Twin Perfect's HD collection videos. I understand that. Those guys put a ton of work into those videos. I was mostly trying to get mine out as quick as possible so that people wouldn't buy the game. Because I wanted people to save their money. That was the whole point of that video, because I got screwed out of $50. I wanted people to save their $50. But I still put a lot of work into that video, making sure it was it looked somewhat professional. And as professional as you can make it by using Camtasia. Yes, I used Camtasia for that video. I didn't even know what Sony Vegas was at that point. So, as professional as you can get with Camtasia. So, I did all that. And now, watching what's going on yesterday, it really kind of stifles channels like mine. It really kind of kicks us in the gut a little bit. Because you see stuff like interviews, developer interviews getting tagged, reviews getting tagged. I guess in some alternate reality you can consider my This Game Sucks videos to be pseudo-reviews. I don't want to put all that work into something and then have some content creator collect on my hard work because I had a 10-second clip of their game in my video or a 10-second clip of their music in my video. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all. The system has got to be reformed. As I said earlier, I have long since described YouTube's copyright situation as the Wild Wild West. It is shoot first, ask questions later. They did not build this copyright content ID system in one shot. They built it piece by piece by piece, and as time has gone by, it has gotten more and more out of control. And it's got to be addressed and it's got to be fixed for people like us to be able to grow, and for people like the Angry Joe guy and all the other channels that have gotten affected by this to continue doing what they're doing and continuing to generate revenue for YouTube. You have to remember, it's not just us that's on the line here. If all these videos stop getting made, that's revenue that Google loses for YouTube, so they have a stake in this too. And I don't think they realize the scope of what they have just done yesterday. And I hope that the eyes become open to the repercussions of what can happen from what they did yesterday. Because it is significant. And it could cause a huge wave. And I really hate that it happened. But I think deep down we kind of saw this coming. There was going to be a day of reckoning at one point for the way YouTube handles copyright for all these bigger channels, because eventually these publishers, these copyright holders rather, they want their piece of the pie. The rich always want to get richer, and they don't care about stomping on the face of the little guy to do it, because you have to have that killer instinct mentality to get to that point in the first place. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of perspective on what that means for a channel like mine. As of right now, it doesn't really mean anything because it doesn't change the way I do things, because I've always had to go through Content ID and I'm familiar with it. But it kind of stifles growth. It kind of stifles the desire to grow on YouTube. And it also screws the networks, the multi-channel networks, because they have no leverage anymore. If somebody comes to me, I can say, hey, no, I'll do it if you make me a managed channel, but if you just make me a little lowly affiliate, then no thank you. I'll just keep dealing with Content ID on my own, brave the copyright strike cold myself, and keep my cut of the money. So I don't know. This has been a crazy 24 hours, and it's only going to get crazier. So with that being said, I hope that gave you guys a little bit of perspective on what this means for smaller channels like mine. I did really hard not to use any bad language during this, so I hope you admired that. There are a lot of passionate videos like Angry Joe's that use profanity, and I can't blame him because that's passionate. That's him. That's real. But I kind of wanted to give an objective, cool-mannered opinion on what happened yesterday feels like to a channel like mine with 2,000 subscribers as opposed to 1 million subscribers. So I hope this video provokes more discussion about what this means for smaller channels like mine. And channels that are even smaller than mine, like Cyborg Twinkie's channel. Her channel, I don't even think has 200 subscribers. You know, this has got a, I know she's a girl, so this doesn't really work, but it's also a kick in the pants to her. because she has 200 subscribers. What is this stuff going to do to her desire to grow on YouTube if she has to worry about constantly getting her work kind of swiped by these copyright holders? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but at some point Google's going to have to define where the line is. And I hope it's something we can all agree on. We probably won't, because that's the nature of the internet. The internet's a strange thing, and it looks like we're going to have to start figuring it out finally. I hope this video promotes some discussion about what's going on, and I hope I did a good enough job explaining it. Like I said, I work with no script, no bullet points. The only thing I had in front of me were the statistics on my channel that I didn't want to remember. That's all I had. This is all I had for this past 25 minutes. So we'll go back to the fun stuff after this video. I just wanted to get this out there because I really think it warranted some discussion and some perspective from somebody of my stature on YouTube, kind of a lower stature, just so everyone would see what it feels like for someone like me. So I'm going to take off now. I hope this really does provoke some good discussion about what this does. So until then, Mr. Enigma's coming back shortly, but from Dustin, thank you for watching.